Hi, everybody, and welcome to Business Beat. This is our very first program. It's brought to you by the Prescott Chamber of Commerce. I'm Sanford Cohen, board chair for the Prescott Chamber, and with me is Sherry Heine. She is the president and CEO, and I know that the business community has had a chance to meet Sherry on a grand scale. But it's really important that the rest of the community get to know her as well. So I guess this is as a form of introduction, a way of welcoming you to the greater part of the community, even though you've been here for like 9 months already.
9 months already. Thank you.
Busy
Yeah.
9 months.
Busy, very busy.
Well, there's been a lot going on at the Chamber, and of course, part of the purpose here of Business Beat is to keep you informed as to what we are doing as the premier business advocacy group here in the city of Prescott. And so let's first take a few moments and talk a little bit about, Sherry, your experience, because when you came to Prescott, you were back in my home state of Michigan.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about your experience there and the chambers that you worked with in Rochester Hills.
Absolutely. Thank you. And it's my pleasure to be here, and I'm so excited to be a part of the Prescott community. We moved here 9 months ago from Rochester, Michigan, where I was the chamber president for over 17 years. And prior to that, I was actually in the Greenville chamber, which is in Michigan as well, where the first Fred Meyer store was. So pretty interesting. But had a great career there in Rochester. Our chamber there was a regional chamber. We had well over 1,000 members. We were an award-winning chamber and a leader of the region. So we had a lot going on there, home of Chrysler headquarters, and so it was a real busy town. But I love being here in Prescott. This is now our home permanently. And we chose Arizona and Prescott because it was our dream, my husband and mine. So it's been a great journey, and we really just enjoy being a part of it.
Well, I can tell you in the 32 years that I've been a member of the Prescott Chamber of Commerce, there is a definite new energy and feel to the way in which the chamber is operating. A lot of the staff people are people that have been with the chamber for many years, but when you got to know the staff, you got to find out that you had some really talented people working there.
Absolutely. I spent the first 2 weeks in the office with the staff. We just sat down and brainstormed on how we can develop programs that will help serve the business community and also the community at large. And they had all the ideas, and I was just the yes person saying, let's go for it. So, I mean, in that first 2 weeks, Sanford, we added 20 new events. So created a lot of marketing and just really started connecting with all the business community as well.
Well, and I can tell you from the board's point of view, we ended up with 4 finalists that we interviewed, and when it came time to make the final vote, Sherry was approved unanimously, 14-0. And that says a lot about her desire to make the Prescott Chamber a force for business. And I think so far, the 9 months that I've experienced under Sherry's leadership have been dizzying, phenomenal. And she'll be the first one to tell you that it's not about her. It's about the team that surrounds her. And certainly we have, as a board, had the pleasure to watch this former Michigan Chamber Executive of the Year do her thing in Prescott. And even for the few short months that it's been happening, we have had just some wonderful developments. And you'll get to meet one of those folks involved in the chamber later on. Jamal McCoy from Findlay Automotive Group is going to be our guest a little bit later. And Sherry, I know that we on the board congratulate you and the staff in bringing in Findlay Automotive as our very first presenting sponsor for the Prescott Chamber. That's a big development.
It was huge for the chamber, but I think also it was huge the timing of it for Findlay as well. So it's been a great partnership so far, and we're just continuing to grow that.
Well, one of the things that I think really bonds the business community and its chamber are the level and scope of the events that take place. And we recently had an event that was quite imaginative and also a wonderful experience called Farm to Table. Now, this is just a perfect example of how this new way of thinking has really affected the Chamber and its membership. Talk a little bit about how the idea came about for Farm to Table, and bear in mind that when you hear this, note that there were over 160 people that showed up to this thing.
Absolutely. Well, it was kind of one of my passions before to bring this type of event to the community. And we had Charla Mortimer as one of our guests. She was a speaker at our women's luncheon back in May. And we had a situation where we had an event, a business expo event that was kind of canceled just for whatever reason. It didn't pan out for September. And I felt like it was important to fill that gap. And I remembered meeting with Charla. The board's goal and our goal at the Chamber is also to be border to border, but include everyone and be, not just focused downtown. And so we thought of this idea of going out on the farm, having businesses at the farm, having a lovely, beautiful dinner cooked fresh from the farm. And so Farm to Table and the business portion of it came to pass.
And served family style.
Yes.
Long tables, white tablecloths, under the stars. Weather was perfect. We had a live band with Sky Daddy. And I was just so impressed with how flawlessly everything took place. It was a wonderful event, a chance to enjoy meeting with and dining with a number of fellow Chamber members. And this is just, again, a first example of what I know is going to be a wonderful reign for Sherry. They bought a house here, and they're going to be living here long term, and we are just so pleased to have Sherry and John Heine and count them amongst the citizenry here in Prescott.
We have received such a great welcoming too, so it's been pretty awesome. The one thing I'd like to say too is not only did I connect with the staff and the board, but also we have another team of volunteers that really help us, and that's our ambassador group. And the other 2 weeks that I spent was with that ambassador group, and they've been very helpful with, they're like our feet on the street volunteers, and they help us welcome businesses and make those connections that are really important. So I have to do a shout out to those ambassadors as well. They were a key part of telling me about what the needs were for the Prescott Chamber and the business community.
So on this business beat and on future business beats, you can expect to be kept up to date and informed about what's going on in your community through the eyes of business. The fact is that in our community, we rely on each other for our economic vitality. And the Chamber of Commerce being the center of the business community in Prescott, it's very important that we provide a lot of networking opportunities so that business people can meet each other and develop their own strategic partnerships. And really, that's what a chamber is all about, is the opportunity to bring people together and create new and lasting relationships.
Absolutely. And we're doing that every day. Not only do we have our events for networking, we also are a part of the community events as well. And we have a state designated visitor center right downtown in a beautiful historical building. And we have over 30,000 folks coming through our front door annually. So we have a big ticket to fill.
Yeah, these folks do a wonderful job. It is one that largely goes unnoticed, but thank goodness we have Business Beat now, where we'll have a chance to let you know all the great work that's going on behalf of the Chamber and of the community as a whole. So with that, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, you're going to get a chance to meet one of our presenting sponsors. I have to say, the first presenting sponsor ever for the Prescott Chamber of Commerce. He's Jamal McCoy, the general manager of the Finlay Automotive Group here in Prescott. And so stay tuned. There's more of Business Beat coming your way shortly. Back on the business beat, and joining us in studio is Jamal McCoy. He's the general manager for Finley Automotive Group. And first of all, Jamal, on behalf of the Chamber, we want to say thank you to Finley Automotive Group for being our very first presenting sponsor. And we are now returning the favor, if you want to call it, by making you the very first presenting interviewee on our business beat. So, every good gesture has its payback. So
Absolutely.
Now, talk a little bit about Finley, because this group has been involved in the automotive business a long time.
Absolutely. So Finley started in 1961. We started in Panaca, Nevada, which is a small town outside of Las Vegas, and moved to Las Vegas and have been there primarily is where our headquarters are at. But now we're in, obviously, Arizona, Utah, Oregon, Idaho, and eventually California.
Yeah, because you folks have a dealership in Flagstaff. Right?
Yeah, we have 3 dealerships in Flagstaff.
Yeah. And so you knew Northern Arizona to some degree. So when did Prescott kind of pop up on the map for you guys?
I think really Robbie Finley was running the Flagstaff stores, and he moved to Flagstaff from Las Vegas and would spend some time in Prescott, and really started talking about it maybe a little over a year ago, how much he would enjoy, expanding in Northern Arizona, and thought about Prescott. And, one thing led to another. He started making some phone calls, and, they looked at it as a great opportunity. The Prescott community is awesome, and, that was the next step for him, is how do we get in Prescott, and it all kind of came together.
Well, and the timing couldn't be better as far as I was concerned, because seeing your group come in and become a presence in the community, and having our new chamber president and CEO, I thought that this was kind of almost a meant to be moment.
Yeah, I met Sherry. I think it was our first or second day. Mine. With the dealership being open, and instant connection. She's amazing. And she knows that. But she's amazing.
I pay them to say that. But
and I've been involved with a lot of chambers, over my career with Finley, and that connection and meeting Sherry, it was like she's become a friend, and you don't necessarily see that with a lot of organizations. So it's been great.
Well, I think what's important about the partnership is that it's both ways. It's our job to help your company grow, and you help us grow. And I think we've been achieving that.
Yeah.
It's been a wonderful journey so far.
No, it's been great.
Yeah.
So what's it like to be in the automotive business these days? It seems like technology is everywhere. How is it affecting your business as far as the new developments in vehicles and so forth?
It's been fun. As far as the vehicles themselves, they keep evolving, and more technology. Every time you see a new model roll out, it has something in it you never thought you would see before. So it's been kind of fun. And we talk about the dealership and vehicles evolving. With self-driving cars, and now manufacturers are starting to implement that into their models. It's unique, and it's a fun time for us to be in automotive, because we know that the next few years are going to be pretty exciting as things continue to develop, and we'll just keep riding this wave.
As far as the other services that Finley Automotive provides, your service department, how many people do they employ, and what's the scope of work that your service department is capable of doing?
So our service departments throughout the brands employs the most of any department. We do repair, obviously, maintenance, oil changes. We also have a collision center, which is another thing that is big about having Finley here, is the collision center is full service. So we have a lot of relationship with insurance companies, and even people off the street come and bring their cars in. But that's another added benefit, is that a lot of dealerships don't have that ability to have your car, not only repaired, but do body work also.
Can you share with our audience all the brands that you carry?
Here in Prescott, we have Toyota, Subaru, Hyundai, Buick, and GMC.
Great.
Along with pre-owned vehicles.
Yeah.
Now, you're a family man. We were out. We talked about the farm to table event, and you and your family were out there. What did you think of the event? And I would imagine that that was a chance for you to meet some new people as well.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. My family had a great time. My daughter and wife were out there zip lining and touching animals and going down slides, and we didn't do stuff like that in Vegas. So it was a lot of fun, and it was unique. And then we had the dinner afterwards, and there was dancing and music, and my daughter met a friend, and they exchanged numbers, and it was just the sense of community here is pretty impressive, and it was nice to be a part of that. So thank you.
Yeah, well, and you also received, at the end, we auctioned off some pork,
Oh yeah.
some meat,
Yeah.
and so he was one of the winners, and that was, you had dinner the next day.
Yeah, that's all it lasted.
It was really good, so that's good stuff.
Talk a little bit about philosophically how you guys operate in terms of what you expect of your staff, both in sales and administration. The car business has been notorious for being a revolving door, and I know that that's something that you're very sensitive to, and you want to create an environment where that kind of thing doesn't happen at Finley.
Yeah, I've been with January will be 16 years that I've been with Finley, and a lot of our employees are long-term employees. We have pretty much three pillars that we focus our business on. It's employee satisfaction, guest satisfaction, and community involvement. And we feel if we take care of our employees, they'll make sure they take care of the guests. If the guests are taken care of, they come back. And being a part of a community is very important to us. It's where we live, it's where we work, it's where we play. We want to develop the community as we're developing our dealerships. And it's worked for us. And knowing that if our philosophy take care of the guests, they'll take care of us, and there's no need to go elsewhere. And there's, we know that we only have one shot typically. We want to make sure we provide an experience that keeps them coming back.
Are you involved at all with digital marketing and social media and a presence on computers and mobile devices, and how is that evolving?
Yeah, I mean, 10 years ago, TV was, primarily, where you advertise on, and now we're very digital, and social media is very important for us, and making sure that we're connecting with consumers, in that atmosphere, because that's where most people are. They have that phone in their hand, and I was looking at actually a report the other day, and our mobile traffic has exceeded, our desktop traffic, and so we know we got to have a presence there. And the other part of it is, especially in a community like this, is everything has to tie together. So if you're socially engaged, you're digitally engaged, you're giving your brand, your message via radio, all that comes back. So if they're listening to us on the radio, they may pick up their phone and Google us, and we know that we have to have that same message online as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very important. One of the things that I've appreciated about your company is your community involvement. Can you share with us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's it's tough for me to keep track of everything that we're doing. I have a marketing team that every day they're having me sign off on something. So it's been good. We, whether it's United Way or Cancer Society or the local schools, we're sponsoring a lot of the athletics. The youth athletics, the high school athletics, and a lot of veteran organizations that we're getting involved with now. It's something I'm passionate about. But it's just nonstop, and it's we try to do what we can for as many people as we can. Obviously, we can't do it for everyone, right. But it's definitely a focus in our meetings. Is what are we doing this week or this month, and how can we volunteer? That's one of the things we're looking at, is volunteer opportunities where we can get our team out and actually give back to the community more than just writing a check. Doing something else.
Absolutely. So. I noticed what really struck with me is the Goodwin fire, and how quickly you reacted to that to help folks. And I know the chamber, we got a lot of calls, and we were able to send folks your way to make donations, because I think that's one thing that I felt was really very telling about this community is how quickly everybody wanted to help with this tragedy of the fire.
Yeah, and that started socially.
Yeah.
We hopped on Facebook and
Yeah.
Twitter, and we just posted, hey, here's what we want to do. And it was probably less than an hour. People were showing up at our dealerships, dropping stuff off.
Oh, yeah.
So it was pretty powerful.
Yeah, good stuff when we can all get together and work together from that perspective.
Yeah.
We have more of a responsibility than just selling our goods, and it's giving back as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what does the future hold for Findlay Automotive Group? I mean, granted, you're new to Prescott, certainly not new to the automotive business by any means, but I know that while community outreach is a big priority for you right now, I would imagine that there's probably a lot more cooking below the surface that I don't know if you're willing to break any news here on Business Beat, but I just thought I'd just throw that out there as far as what the future may hold.
Yeah. All will be known in due time.
Well, I have to say that, as a member of the media and an advertising medium, I really appreciated the professionalism that you guys have brought to the operation. It's not an easy job to be constantly having to reach out to the community in a meaningful way. And the thing that I've noticed about you guys is that you stay on message. You have a very noticeable bent in terms of how much you want to be thought of as a community member.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like I said, it's important. We live here, we work here, and we want to engage, and have people engage back with us. And if we can help support organizations and allow them to do more because of our support, then that's worth it.
So for people who like to look online for cars and trucks and vans and SUVs and so forth, how much of an investment have you made in your web presence, and how much shopping can somebody get done going to one of your Findlay websites?
Well, the web presence is definitely in the forefront. So we've invested heavily in making sure that we're accessible online, and we're working on some more enhancements where people can possibly buy a car online and possibly have it delivered to them. So we're working on all that because we realize where retail's headed. So we definitely want to get ahead of the curve there. But it's pretty easy to go to our, one of our websites, FindlayAutoPrescott.com, find one of the brands you're looking for, and set an appointment, or just peruse and see if we have what you need.
Well, as Sanford welcomed me to the community, we welcome you to the community as well.
Thank you.
And we really appreciate the partnership and getting to know you and your wife and your daughter. It's been great fun.
Yeah, thank
we look
you.
forward to building a future.
Absolutely, so do I.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and so you are a pioneer. You have been our first guest on our very first Business Beat. It's an honor that I'm sure will rank right up there with all the accolades that you get in life. But Jamal McCoy, General Manager from Findlay Automotive Group, thank you for joining us, for being a presenting sponsor for the Chamber, and for being our first guest here on Business Beat.
Absolutely, thank you for having me.
All right. We'll be back to wrap things up in just a moment.
Welcome back to Business Beat, and I just want to thank everyone for joining us today. It's been great to launch this show for the Prescott Chamber of Commerce, and we've just been so thrilled to be able to interview Jamal from Findlay Automotive Group, our first lead partner, and we have just so much more news to share with everyone. One that is very special that we just launched is, and I'm going to have Sanford share our story about this very exciting program.
Well, the name of the program is called Shop Prescott, Start Here. And basically it is a variation of a Shop Local campaign, but one with a very important message. And that message is that it's not just enough to buy your goods locally from a local merchant or provider, but I want to talk to the people that work at these locations, because it's very important that they make their purchases locally, that their spouses, their kids, their neighbors, people that they go to church with or share hobbies with, that they in fact have the same philosophy. Because every dollar that is spent in the city of Prescott circulates in the area 7 times. So think about that. Every time you spend a dollar, let's say at a restaurant or at a shop, the person working there will take that money and they'll spend it getting their car fixed. And the person doing the car repair will go out and buy some clothes. I mean, so it's very easy to see that if that first purchase is done on the internet, on Amazon, and it leaves town, there is no circulation. It does nothing to help jobs. And the fact is that these brick and mortar businesses represent a huge investment in our community. And so, you know, if you can buy it on Amazon and save a couple of pennies, or you can buy the exact same thing at a store here and they'll price match it, buy it here. Get in your car, get on your bike, put on your shoes, walk into a local store, make all your purchases here, and insist that all your friends and family do the same. We make that kind of commitment to the community, and we will ensure economic prosperity, not just now, but into the future. And that's what Shop Prescott Start Here is all about. Granted, when Sherry came aboard and when I started my year as board chair, one of the things I insisted was that we would have a program that involved the entire city, border to border. And the committee that represents Shop Prescott Start Here has people from all over the Prescott geographic area. We have representatives from the airport area, from the Iron Springs area, from Willow Creek and Willow Lake Road, from East Prescott out Highway 69, and we have representation from the Downtown Partnership, from the Prescott Area Hospitality Association, and 2 members from the Chamber and 2 members from the city. The city and the Chamber are the ones funding Shop Prescott Start Here. And it would be wonderful to have all of you watching us at home consider making all of your purchases from local Prescott businesses, big or small, because big or small, we love them all.
That's right. And with the holidays coming up, it's perfect timing for this campaign, and we're just so thrilled with all the partnerships, and everyone that we've talked to so far is on board. So we're asking you to jump on board and be a part of our Shop Prescott Start Here campaign and make your next purchase here right in Prescott.
You know, there is a fallacy out there that you can save money, especially on big ticket items, by going to Phoenix or elsewhere. And we've talked to all the big ticket item people here, and it's absolutely not true. It's a total misnomer. And so something you really ought to consider is keeping your money here at home, working for you, for the quality of life here in everybody's hometown that everybody loves so much. And we can't do it without you.
Well, Sanford, thank you for bringing this program to the Chamber and to the community. This was his dream, and we're making it a reality, and I think it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be ongoing, so you're going to hear a lot about Shop Prescott Start Here in many of our segments. We're going to be talking about it. You'll see it all over town, and we really just appreciate your passion for supporting our local businesses, border to border, brick and mortar.
And that's very good. That's very good. Wow. And if you notice, the Shop Prescott Start Here sticker has very familiar colors to Prescott Badger fans, so that's not by accident.
There you go. Well, we just want to thank you for watching the Business Beat. You'll be looking for us each month. We'll have our special guest each month.
Absolutely.
And if you have any questions or want to get a hold of the Prescott Chamber of Commerce, our number is 928-445-2000, and our website is prescott.org. You can join us next month on
The Business Beat.